Alright, I'm gonna try to get y'all caught up here. It's been kind of one fiasco after another today, from employees running the picking tractor out of fuel in the middle of the field to having to stop and load pumpkins, and greenhouse pad I laid it out a little bit too small evidently, because it's about a couple foot shy of being as big as it needed to be. But getting through it. I'm had to do a little bit more fine grading on this side with the skid steer to get it to where water's gonna drain like it should and not run into this greenhouse. There'll be a whole bunch of water between this greenhouse and that greenhouse. There's gonna be a ton of water shedding off here in the middle. Putting them 12 foot apart, and now that it's kind of semi finish graded, I'm kind of wondering if that's the best decision or not. I wish I could have put them a little bit closer, but the way it was without hauling 10 more loads of dirt in here, the camera don't do it justice. When I edited the video that I put out, the last one I put out, it's kind of hard to tell quite what you're looking at. But where I'm standing here, well, if I duck down 6 inches, I'm eye level with grade right here. So you can tell there's a whole bunch of dang dirt was hauled in here. I think they told me it's 17 loads that they hauled in here. But it's the first time I've walked around this angle. You can see I still need to slick up my slopes a little bit. We might do some of that with some rakes and whatnot, but he did a really good job of building the pad. You can see it's got just a little bit of a dome to it, and it's packed hard as concrete, which is what we wanted, because this ain't gonna be a high tunnel. It's gonna be a dedicated greenhouse, and we're gonna put crusher run 2 or 3 inches thick in here. And then Holly just went up to Puckett's greenhouse in Ararat, Virginia today and picked up some stuff. The greenhouse that we just bought, it only had 3 runs of purlins if you count the purlin at the ridge. This is a 30, I can't remember if it's a 34 or 36 foot wide high tunnel, and you see it's got, well, if you don't count the double wire lock, it's got 3 purlins on each side, and then it's got the middle purlin. It's a Gothic, so it's also got all this cross bracing. So once I get Holly talked into turning this into a dedicated greenhouse, which is my long range plan, we're gonna have a ton of room for hanging baskets in here. This is gonna work out really good. But we picked up 120 foot of purlin pipe, so we can put so we can have 2 purlins on each side of our ridge. Like this one's got 3, but the new one is a Quonset style, not a Gothic, so it's not going to support as much weight. But we will still have a whole lot more room for hanging stuff by adding 120 foot of purlin pipe. Add some strength to the greenhouse too. Some of the wire lock track got tore up when we took it off, so she got, I think there's 80 foot of wire lock track, some new wire lock, and the ground posts that we pulled up were like, I don't know, it's probably 18 inches sticking out of the ground, and it's a Quonset style. So you see how this Gothic, well, that's not a good example, if this Gothic was sitting down with 18 inches of ground post, you can see that it would kill a lot of space at the edges. So I guess that is a good example. The shorter your sidewalls, the less usable space, user-friendly space you're gonna have. So I decided to bite the bullet, and while we're at this stage, it costs so much money to build these things, to operate them, to heat them, especially now that we got propane prices where they are. So it was worth a little money up front for me to go ahead and buy new ground post right here. So I bought 26 new 6-foot ground post, and now that she got back here with them, an hour and a half drive away to go up there, those are actually too small. They're the same exact size as our bows. If these bows were swedged on the end, it would work perfect. I mean, that's what it's for. But the bows are not swedged on the end. Kind of looks like they were swedged, and maybe it got cut off because this, like I say, it's a used greenhouse. This will be probably the 4th time this greenhouse has been put up that I know of, because it was a tobacco greenhouse and it was a produce greenhouse, and then it got moved and it was a produce greenhouse. So anyway, I guess at some point it got cut off, but I'm gonna have to make some inserts to go inside of our new ground post and go inside the bows, but we're gonna make it work. It's just not gonna work the way that I had in mind it working, but I've got a little bit of daylight left, so I'm gonna get busy and try to finish slicking this thing up back and forth between the tractor and the skid steer. I've got this pretty good down through here. I don't think I've got any low places, but it's darn near the level, so I really would love to take a couple of inches out down through there, but I may be a lot of things, but an expert on grading I am not, but I'm gonna do the best I can. So I'm gonna try to find a place to put this camera and set y'all up a little time lapse and get busy before it gets dark on me. One thing about working super late, you sure can see your transit. Actually, I don't even need to turn my reader on because I can see, if I get out of the way, I can see where the darn line's at. I've got this thing pretty darn slick. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I can't remember who it was. It was a Joe Rogan podcast, but I can't remember who was on there. And the guy had a good quote though. Actually, I guess it was a good quote. Kind of hit close to home, but he said that perfectionism is just procrastination masquerading as quality control. I'm not sure that's always true, but I tend to be a perfectionist, and anyway, if stuff's not right, it just really drives me crazy. But I don't know, maybe if I had something different to work with and I had a little more know-how, I could be alright at grading, but it would cost a fortune to get me to do anything for you, because I'm so particular and I want everything to be perfect. But you can see I got this slope. It ain't perfect, but it's good enough you could spend 30 minutes with a rake and make it look really nice. I'm thinking what we're going to have to do over here is probably gravel everything in between these two greenhouses. I'm going to put gravel around this greenhouse, the whole thing, 18 inches or so we can keep it sprayed with Roundup, not have to worry about weed eating, so it don't look like garbage like it does right now. But I think for the sake of aggravation and not tearing up things, especially as steep as that bank is, I think the best thing to do in between these two greenhouses, because about where I'm standing is going to be down near the edge of this one, and you can see how close together they are right there. I don't know how good you can see it in the dark. That stub is the edge of this one, so I think we'll probably gravel, crush a run in between the two, and just keep it sprayed, and that way I won't have to worry about washing. Hopefully there won't be enough. It's not steep enough down through here. The water's going to move pretty slow out of here, but it will drain now. Well, I'm fixing to check it. If I ain't screwed it up with the box scrape trying to make it slick, I think it's going to drain. But it's not going to be a racing river, so shouldn't have any problem with it washing the rocks out of here. But I think the best thing to do is just rock in here and about 18 inches around the new one and the old one. One thing I've learned, if you're going to build one, this is, I guess this is the 4th greenhouse I've built. And I don't know why it's taken me this long to learn, but they make nursery fabric, greenhouse floor covering, that is like 4 foot wide, and I've got some of it this time. We're going to roll that out where each of the side posts go, and we're going to cut holes or burn holes, and that's where we're going to drive the post through. So there's going to be a very limited area where the weeds can come up, and then we'll cover that with crush or run. We'll stop it down with staples, and then we'll cover it with crush or run rock, so that way it won't be a whole lot of weed pressure there anyway, and what does come up we can easily kill around the post with Roundup. But I think I'm gonna call it quits here. Tomorrow we're gonna put up batter boards, pull strings, get the corner post up, I hope, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Appreciate y'all watching.